Yeah, so as Danielle said, she's been with Heritage Volunteering Group since the start, and the group began back in 2014, really a time when I think cuts were really starting to bite within the heritage sector, and what we felt we were looking at across the heritage sector at the time was a situation really where museums weren't taking full advantage of the opportunity that volunteers presented, not only to survive in really difficult times, but actually to thrive and to start doing really interesting and exciting things. And Danielle was the first person I spoke to about it, and we sat down in Mosey, as it was at the time, and chatted the idea through about the idea of setting up this group that we've got today. The idea was, we were all incredibly busy, so the idea was that we were formed on the principle that we would all give, by giving a little, we could all actually achieve quite a lot. And from that point on, the two of us worked quite closely together. We got Rich involved, we got Alex as well, some of you might remember from Birmingham Museums Trust, and then we started to pull together a steering group that would develop some of those ideas and set a direction of travel for Heritage Volunteering Group that has led us to where we are today. So our mission, and we've kind of talked a little bit about this already this morning, but it's to help you unlock the power of volunteering by creating connections and sharing both best practice locally, nationally, digitally and in person. And much of the work that we do through the conference, through the regional networking meetings, online and on Twitter, all falls within that mission really. And we know, that there's lots and lots of great stuff out there. All of you in this room will be doing amazing stuff with your volunteers. But what we need to do is share that. Heritage Volunteering Group isn't there to create best practice. It's not there to kind of set standards. It's there to kind of help you guys share what you're already doing so well. So, just talk a little bit about the structure. So we've got an executive committee, and until Danielle's promotion, we were 3 members. So that's myself, Rich and Danielle, chair, vice chair and secretary. And we really, over the last few years, worked really closely together to plan and set the direction for the group. Ably supported by our steering group, which, as we've met some of the members today, there's another 20-odd who are involved with, developing those ideas and running some of our events. And we couldn't do it, the 3 of us couldn't do it alone. The steering group provides an incredible amount of support and resources to help us take things forward. And then there's yourselves, the wider membership, and that's open to anybody with an interest in volunteering, who like yourselves have signed up through the website, get our regular updates from the steering group, news of what's going on across the sector. You also get kind of early bird invites to things like this and to our conference as well. And we're just now, we do open up some of our steering group meetings to the wider membership. So we have space for around about 25 people, 30 people at those steering group meetings. We know that we don't always get that, so we often open up 2 or 3 spaces to members so that you feel connected and to what we're doing, and you can help inform some of the work as well. So, what do we do? Kind of already talked about this, but we run our annual conference. If you've not been to it, it's really great. That was a photograph from the conference back in May this year at the National Museum of Wales. We're just starting to plan Heritage Volunteering 2018, which Vanessa is kindly hosting at the Museum of London for us. Do keep your eyes out for news on that. There'll be more stuff to come out probably January, February time as we start to fix the kind of content and themes for the event. We run the regional networking event, clearly, as you're all here today at it. We aim to run a couple of those a year, eventually handing them over to you guys yourselves to actually run and facilitate with our support, so that it's got you at the heart of it. We share resources and case studies through our website. Hopefully you've all seen the website. We're always looking for case studies, so if you are doing really interesting projects and work with volunteers, do visit the website, download the form and tell us all about it, and we can help share the amazing stuff that you're doing. The other thing that we do is connect practitioners and share best practice through Twitter. I also quite like dancing GIFs, so we do share a lot of those as well, as Darren knows full well. So we have got kind of three main challenges really. First one is, how do we connect with practitioners across the country? There's of course only 30 of us on the steering group. How do we make sure that what we're doing at Heritage Volunteering Group is representative of what the sector needs? How do we support networks and networking, and how can we help those groups that are established continue and thrive, and how can we get new groups set up in areas that don't have them? So the third area is, how do we share all of that best practice? I think museums are fantastic at kind of reinventing the wheel. We're quite good at working with one another, as we see today, but actually there's so much great best practice that goes on outside the heritage sector, that goes on in the wider third sector. So how can we draw that into what we're doing so that we're not having to reinvent the wheel, we're learning from really great stuff that's happening already? So the way that we think we can do that is through the regional networks that exist across the UK. So we know that lots of you are involved in regional networks. We've talked a little bit about Share East, the London Heritage Volunteer Managers Network. We've got Rich, who runs HVG West Midlands here as well. And we think that by working with these groups, we can connect a whole wide range of people, not just in that local area, but actually get regional networks working together and sharing best practice and ideas right the way across the country. And this is just a visual representation of this, because there's the steering group there at the top, and there's the heritage organisations and individual volunteer managers at the bottom, and there is no conduit between the two, unless we put the regional networks in place. And that allows us then to work with a manageable number of regional networks, who are then in turn working with a manageable number of volunteer managers. And that way we can make sure that what we're doing is representative of what you want in your museums, and we're able to support you and your work.